Okay, you guys. So my live has been restricted until January 20th, and I really don't give a. But anyway, so I'm just trying to make this just to let people know what happened. Okay, so tonight I was on another content creators live, and I was the co-host. I don't want to say her name. And I invited Rico, Michael Jackson, a tribute artist, to come on because the topic of the live was Michael Jackson fake impersonators, people who were impersonating Michael Jackson and scamming people. And then, wait a minute, let me put this back, okay, because it'll go out. And people who are pretending to be Michael Jackson because you have people who believe Michael Jackson is still alive. And these people will be scamming people. And we also talked about people who claim they're related to the Jacksons and they scam people, like this guy, Andre Van, who literally forged Donald Trump's signature to make it seem like Donald Trump was supporting him and how he scammed people out of millions of dollars. And he really needs to be locked up because according to the law, if you forge a president's signature, you can go to prison for 20 years for that. So, but at any rate, so Rico was on, we were having a good time. I was cutting up and I was saying a lot of crazy stuff, and she kind of got a little restricted. And so I had to watch what I was saying. And so there was a guy that was in the live feed on the comments who kept on flirting with her, and she didn't really feel that. And so then he started saying negative things about Michael. What happened was I was talking about when I first met Rico, how big his bulge was like that down there. And so when I said that, the guy started talking about Michael's bulge and was saying that he heard, back in the day that, Michael was small and that Bubbles was bigger than him. And I'm like, well, how would you know? Was you sucking on Bubbles? And so I said, well, I don't know who told you that lie because Michael Jackson had 3 legs, honey. He had a big old schlong. So I don't know where that came from. And I told him to get off the live. And so I kept telling her that she needed to block him because he's saying negative things about Michael. So this one person comes into the live feed and their name was Michael Jackson. And we were like, oh, here we go. And I'm like, is that you, John Bronca? And when I said that, they disappeared. I said, that must be John Bronca and his people. Because John Bronca have people following us. Okay? Because he want to keep his ear to the community to find out what's going on. So she invited him to come on to the live. He comes on and he shows himself on video. He's dressed like Michael with a fedora and all this. And he's like a Michael Jackson impersonator. And so I said, well, what is your name? And he said, I can't tell you that. I said, are you running from ICE? And he said, he shook his head, yes. I said, well, that's why he can't tell us. Now, think about this for a moment. The topic was fake Michael Jacksons, okay? That's scamming people. That's what the topic was, okay? People faking Michael. That's what the topic was. And you come on this live feed and in the comments and your name is Michael Jackson. And then when you show yourself, you can't tell us your name? No, that's a bunch of bullshit. And so the content creator got uncomfortable. She muted me a few times. She's like, well, we don't want to talk about ICE on this, live feed. I said, but we already talked about ICE. I unmuted myself and I said, we talked about Donald Trump going to send ICE to get Wade Robson because he's not a U.S. citizen and Wade Robson is suing Michael over lies. And so she basically muted me again and she kicked me off the live feed. And I was just like, I didn't understand that because he admitted that's what it was. And so I'm in the comments like, um, why would you, kick me off the live? And this guy is over here saying all these negative things about Michael. And she was just like, well, I kept, trying to tell you, and it was just the way she did it. She could have just said, well, Mother Diva, he doesn't have to self-identify. And, I don't want to really have a conversation about ICE. I don't want to talk about that, because she started talking about people in her family and all of this. And it was just really confusing for me. But if it wasn't for me, she wouldn't have had all those people on her feed. She had all over 40 people come on there. And usually she may have 2, 3, or maybe 4 people. And that was because I brought Rico into the conversation. I did that as a favor to her, because I believe in helping people and planting seeds, and we all help each other grow. And she's done so much beautiful work for me that I wanted to just do something really nice for her. So I mean, that was really devastating for me, for her to have done that to me. And then what ended up happening was somebody said something or did something inappropriate, and she had to end up putting them out. And then that's when I said, well, that's what you get for kicking me out. And so that's when she blocked me. Okay. So I had made a decision that at that point, our relationship is done. This was the second time that we had issues, but I can't have people trying to embarrass me or cause problems, especially in front of a colleague that I invited on. Okay, so like my thing was like this: honey, I made your live. Okay, and I didn't have to do that. I did that out of the kindness of my heart. But I'm glad I saw what happened. And not only that, one of my colleagues texted me and said, hey, this person who did this flyer, I want them to do something for me. I just got this girl some work. Because, see, I'm about love and positivity and getting and bringing us all together and pumping people up and building people up. I'm not about tearing people down. But when it comes to Michael Jackson, I don't play. You don't come on nobody live feed and you say your name is Michael Jackson on your TikTok profile. And then when we ask you what your name is, you going to say, I can't tell you that? No, that ain't how I roll. So I'm not going to say the content creator's name. I wish her well in everything that she's trying to do. She is extremely talented, but I can't work with people like that, because something else will happen. She will embarrass me and cause me problems in $1 million meeting. And no, I'm not the one. You're not going to do it. No. She going to have to learn the hard way. I'm not, I'm almost 55 years old. I'm old enough to be your mother. And I'm not going to be disrespected like that. And I kept asking her to let me back in the live, because I would, and I even said it wasn't my intention to disrespect your live. But the topic is faking Michael's. And he wouldn't tell us his name. But see, some people are so blind, they don't even see that. So, I wish her well, but I am restricted until January 20th, which I really don't care. TikTok don't make or break me. I enjoy TikTok. It's a very good outlet, for therapy and to educate people and to get educated, and I could just make little videos like this, and y'all can make comments, and I could come on here. And, this is fine with me. This is what I was doing before. And this is probably what I should just stick to, so I can, not be so restricted. But y'all can follow me on YouTube. I'll start going live on YouTube, talking about different things on YouTube. I just rather do YouTube, because on YouTube I could be myself. I could say what the fuck I want to say, and I don't have all these damn problems. But y'all can put something in the comments. It'll be fine. I'll see you guys on the 20th. That's when I could come back. So I love y'all. Make your comments, and, we'll go from there. And thank you so much for supporting my channel. And I wish the content creator, I wish you the very best. I hope it all goes well for you with your graduation and all of that. But we're just going to have to respectfully part ways. Thank you. Bye-bye.